do you struggle to figure out if you're doing the right thing or not? Okay. Is it something you worry about? Or is it something you just couldn't give a rat's ass about? Do you know what I mean? So, let's get into this. One of the biggest, we got into conversation with a friend, and one of his biggest struggles was that he's always wondering whether he's doing the right thing or not. So whether it's simple as a gym exercise in a gym, whether it's like being a father, whether it's being a husband, sometimes we don't know whether the actions that we're taking, is it the right thing? And I think there is a couple of influences that can really play a part in here. And one of them is our past. Second one is our social media. And number three is kind of what other people are doing. So our past is very much like, let's look at what everybody else used to do that was in my family. What did my dad used to do? What did my mum used to do? What did my brother and sisters used to do? And is that the right way? Should I be judging everything on what they did? Is what they did right? That's the standard. Because when you grow up and you're around them, like your kids are right now, they're looking at you, they're judging you, they're watching you, they're learning from you. They almost become a mirror of you, right? So that's what we did when we grew up. And we saw how our dad used to be as a husband. We saw how our mum used to be as a parent, or our dad used to be as a parent. So we probably pick up those ways. And I don't know about you, but like when I pick up those things from being a parent, I always look at the things that I don't want to do. Okay, I look at the way that I used to be parented and think, there's some good things there, but there are some good things that I don't want to like take away from that. So as I grew older and I suddenly become a father at 27, I was like, am I doing the right thing here? Like, you know, the only thing I've got to go off is like when I was growing up and what my mum and dad did. So again, there's some comparison to probably the internal household as to whether you're doing the right thing or not. And we're going to, at the very end of this, we're going to talk about like what my own thoughts are on knowing that you're doing the right thing. So number two was social media. So social media is like an over-opinionated space, right? Within that space, there are so many different thoughts. There are wildly different. There are some wild thoughts out there, quite aggressive in some respects as well. Let me just move this here. And they can play a part, okay? So when we're on social media, we can hear those things coming into our head, right? Boom, they're seeping in. And it becomes narrative. And that narrative can end up leading you down maybe a path that you don't know if it's right or wrong. Another classic example of this is like when a PT is telling you to do one thing, like track calories or eat this or train like this, and another one saying don't track those calories or don't train like that or don't do that exercise. And you're like, I'm being pulled fucking apart here. Like, is it this or is it this? And sometimes you don't know if you're doing the right thing or not. You know, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? And then the other one is like very much, if you like, opinions of others. So you've got to remember, obviously, the people around you are going to be different to you. They're not you. They're not the way that they parent or the way that they see the world is not the way that you see it. So everyone's always going to have an opinion. Everyone's going to be different, but you can hear it maybe in a school playground, maybe your friends bring it up at dinner or whatever, and you're kind of like, fucking hell, am I doing the right thing? Should I be listening to fucking Tina and Bob or Carrie in the fucking school playground and how they should be doing it? All these things, all of those things that we've just gone through can be wildly exaggerated as well, okay? What you have is an array of opinions or thought processes of how things should be done in their particular worlds. Everyone has their own little box. I'm very different to everybody that watches this show, okay? The way that I parent will be different to the way that you parent. The things that I accept might be different to the things that you accept. The way that you discipline your kids will be different to the way that I discipline my kids. The way that I see the world and the way that I think we should show up is different to a lot of other people. So the only way to know whether we're doing it right or not is to have your own fucking standard and stop worrying about every fucking other person's opinion, thought process, or what they're doing and comparing it and judging it against whether it's right to them. Because the only standard that you have to match or come up against is your own, okay? That is the only thing that matters. So whether you're doing it right or not, if you want to fucking track calories, track calories. If you want to fast, go and fucking fast. If you want to put your kid on a naughty step because they're naughty, do that. Do you know what I mean? If you want to give your kid a fucking treat every night before they go to bed, then fucking do that. Stop worrying about what Aunt Sally thinks, or your fucking mother thinks, or your dad thinks, and do you, because suddenly you start building your own standards, your own creatives, and you give less of a fuck about what other people think, because that's one of the most draining things, right, on the planet to do, is worrying about what everybody else thinks. And because everybody else thinks you should be doing this, or that's not the way you do it, or this is it, you only have to go and read some of the comments on Facebook. I love studying human behaviour. And when I go through specific scroll time and I look at some controversial posts and you go through the comments, you're like, wow, geez, why would you even give a fuck enough to put your comments in there? Do you know what I mean? That's time and energy, like you just don't get back. So I think the thought process of the day is do what you think is right, because that's your life, that's your entitlement, that's what you get to choose. Do you know what I mean? Not Aunt Sally's or your mate Bob's and Tina's who you go out for dinner with and they judge you. Fuck them. Anyway, have an amazing Monday. We will see you Wednesday at 5:30 in the morning. Try and make it live if you can, as we build up to, of course, Christmas. By the way, we're only 19 shows away from our 500 shows. Be amazing. See you soon.